Hello everyone, my name is Jack and welcome to Blacksmith Games and Films, or BGF for short. So this is going to be just a quick intro video just to say hi and sort of introduce myself properly, tell you a bit about me and what this channel is for. So yeah, let's get into it. So I'm going to go through a few questions that I've written down for myself as a sort of one-sided Q&A. So, number one, who am I? Well, my name is Jack, and I'm from the UK. I love movies, and I've loved movies ever since I was little. And I suppose another thing about me is that I'm very weird when it comes to movies, because there's not many that I don't like. There's always something I love. I'm currently with my partner, who aspires to be an animator someday, and she is fantastic at drawing. And yeah, I suppose that's all about me. So question 2 is, what's my favourite film? Well, my favourite film is Interstellar, by far. Christopher Nolan's one of my favourite directors, and I love everything that comes out with him. I was there watching Oppenheimer on day one, and I absolutely loved it. Even though people thought it was very boring, the people I went to watch it with, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love Christopher Nolan's style. I love how he portrays certain characters, and I just love his sort of mind when it comes to these movies. My least favourite film, as I said before, there's not many films I don't like, but there are two that come to mind. Two that you have probably never heard of. Rubber, which is about a sentient tire which can blow people's minds up with telekinesis. More of a telekinetic blast. It is absolutely awful. It took 20 minutes for the tire to, can't believe I'm saying it, stand up. So that's the sort of movie I don't really like. One that clearly lacks passion and is made as a joke. Killer Pinata was the other one, similar sort of thing. It's about a pinata which goes around killing people. There were very stupid moments in the movie, and I did not enjoy it. Another type of movie I don't like is body horror, so anything like Human Centipede and Tusk, although I did love Tusk, and I will be watching the second. Kevin Smith is a fantastic creator himself. I did not like the concept of it. It freaked me out, and Human Centipede is something I don't really like. But don't get me wrong, I do love horror. It's body horror that I'm not a fan of. In terms of franchises, my favourite films for Marvel is probably Avengers Endgame, although Infinity War and No Way Home probably come very, very close second. In terms of DC, The Suicide Squad was fantastic. I love that. And anything Batman related. So, for example, Matt Reeves' Batman was fantastic. I did love Joker as well. And Dark Knight trilogy was fantastic. As I said, Christopher Nolan's one of my favourite directors, so the Dark Knight trilogy were fantastic. I really loved those. Star Wars, my favourite movie is probably Revenge of the Sith, as many of you. However, I loved each and every single one of the movies in Star Wars, including the sequel trilogies, funnily enough. And even the Mandalorian shows and everything that's tied to Star Wars is fantastic. But yes, Episode 3 is probably my favourite, with the downfall of Anakin Skywalker to become Darth Vader. And Hayden Christensen plays that role so well. And I fell in love with it ever since I watched it as a child. Now, in terms of my least favourite projects for franchises like Marvel, DC, and Star Wars, none. They're all amazing in their own little way, and I love them all. If I had to pick one of each, for Marvel, it would be Thor: The Dark World. For DC, it would probably be Wonder Woman 1984. And for Star Wars, it would probably be Episode 2. However, I love every single Star Wars, Marvel, and DC project, as well as many other franchises. Harry Potter, Predator, Alien, Terminator, RoboCop, so many franchises. Avatar, I love loads of franchises, and of course, although a few of them have very few projects, I love them all in their own little way. So yes, I don't really have many least favourite ones, I'm afraid. So, in terms of my personal projects, I thought I'd ask myself this question. Basically, my personal projects, I am writing a novel, a horror novel. I'm writing a sci-fi script after I've done my novel. I'm getting back into writing, so at the moment I am writing a couple of short stories to sort of get myself back into them. One of which includes a boy trying to discover why the government ask everyone to close their windows at 12 p.m. every day for half an hour. He is trying to discover why no one can see outside and what is actually going on. And yeah, I suppose that's it for my personal projects. But let's go into the channel and the site, the article site, and the community that I'm hoping to build. So, the article site will be mainly news related, but it will also be write-ups of the videos that we do. There will be a pitch page for people to pitch their own ideas. So if a Nova project was announced, for example, I would ask the question on the pitch page, in which people could submit their ideas, and the best one we would publish as an article to show people what, a good idea for the Nova movie. So, say if a Nova movie was announced, I would put a question up on that site, and it will be for the community to go on that and write their own little plot points and things that they would like to see. As well, we will be doing pitches on our own pitches on the article site, as well as on the YouTube channel. So we will be doing pitches, we'll be doing breakdowns, and we'll be doing theories. Other than that, there's not much we'll do in terms of news on the video side of things, but on the article side of things, that's when we'll do a lot of news and hear, people saying this, people saying that. James Gunn has announced this, Kevin Feige has announced this, Amy Pascal has announced this, Pedro Pascal has announced it, little things like that. We will obviously be looking at mainly Marvel, DC, and Star Wars, but of course there are many other franchises out there. Last of Us we'll definitely be looking into. Popular projects that are being released. So say if Oppenheimer and Barbie hadn't been released yet and they were releasing next month, we would probably be talking about that as well. So that's basically what the channel is and what we're going to do. In terms of sort of upcoming content, we will be doing a My Hopes for Deadpool 3, which is sort of going to be what we're going to do when a project is announced. We'll be doing a pitch for it, our own pitch, as well as giving you all the opportunity to pitch your own. And we will then be doing a My Hopes one closer to the time in comparison to the pitch, so that, because obviously we would have seen trailers and we would have seen more rumors and things like that. There may be situations such as Deadpool 3, in which case we do a My Hopes video a couple of times, maybe one closer, maybe a final hopes for Deadpool 3, which it will be released say day before release. So this is what we're going to be doing. We'll be talking about the DCU slate and what projects they could be, because James Gunn said that there'll be 2 movies and 2 shows every year. That is the aim. They've announced 10 projects, and that's half of chapter 1. So in general, the 8 to 10 year plan is 2 chapters, chapter 1, chapter 2, and 40 projects in total from the looks of things. So I will be going through a possibility of what each project could be, based on the information we have already, and obviously it gives you the opportunity to come to us as well, and that's the hope for the community. We want to allow people to go to us with their own ideas, whether it's on an existing IP like Marvel or DC, or on their own. For example, I could put up that pitch I was talking to you about for the little short story I wrote up about the boy who is trying to figure out why they have to close the windows at 12 p.m. every day. So that would be sort of what the community will be. It would be celebrating creatives and giving people the opportunity to put up their own games that they're making, or their own short stories that they're making, or their own novels, or their own short films. And we will be looking into things like that, and it gives people the opportunity to get their name heard. That is the hopes for this when our audience grows. In terms of scheduling, I'm afraid I have a full-time job, so I will do my very best to try and stick to a somewhat schedule, and hopefully over time I'll be able to do this full-time. But we don't know yet, of course. So that is the end of the list of questions I had for myself. I'd like to thank you all so much for listening. If you did, I'm assuming a lot of people haven't because my audience is extremely small, but it's nice to talk and nice to, get my opinions out there. And I hope there are people out there like me who just want to talk about these things respectfully without arguing on Twitter or anything or having people say a movie's bad. Like I said, a movie isn't bad because that means that to everyone it is not a good movie. Whereas someone out there may find a bad movie, and I'm using air quotes here, they might find it good. They might find it enjoyable. So we are going to create a community where people are allowed to express their opinions, and rather than saying this is a bad project, we are going to put forward ideas of how to make it better. For example, Quantum Mania. I think Ant-Man should have died. A lot of people hated Quantum Mania. I personally loved Quantum Mania. I thought it was amazing. And I will unfortunately say that about a lot of things, I'm afraid. But yes, some people have love for these things. Some people have hate for these things. But let's avoid using the sort of this is a bad movie sort of, trope. Let's go into why you didn't like it. There's a difference between bad movie and I didn't like it. And, hopefully we can make this community one of our own, and a much better one than ones on Twitter and things like that. So thank you all for listening. As I said, please like and subscribe and pass on the message to people. Try and get the name out there. And, hopefully we can make this a great community for just us. Thank you all for listening. Bye.